Kyle Bodine is a detective who knows his job.
Kill someone in Brayton, Kyle Bodine's gonna get you. You always screw it up sooner or later.
And knows what he wants.
Am I safe talking to you?
We live in dangerous times.
Yeah, we meet in dangerous places. Put your arms around me.
But he doesn't know her.
I'm in a trap. I can't get out of it.
Whatever you want, I'll get. Whatever you need, I'll do. I love you.
Get away!
Here we go.
Get away!
When Kyle Bodine crosses the line,
You said you'd protect me. Do it now.
there's no crossing back.
If this was murder, someone knew what they were doing.
Secrets will be revealed.
Kyle, we found something.
I just want to know the truth. Tell me the truth!
I am.
And lives will be destroyed.
She's got a reputation all over town for having her way with men.
Is that so?
I don't want to hear any more lies! No more lying!
China Moon.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and eventually they all fuck up. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister, and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. Here's the tagline. He thought it was passion. It was deceit. He thought it was love. It was murder.
We are dorking out about 1994's China Moon. This was a request from one of our listeners. I thought I had seen this movie before and then quickly realized I have not seen this movie before. So this is a first-time watch for both of us, yes?
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's written by John Bailey. Sorry, directed by John Bailey, written by Roy Carlson. It did not make a lot of money, by the way. It cost $15 million to make. It only made $3 million. It stars Ed Harris, Madeline Stowe, or as Patrick Bromley calls her, Hot Stowe. Charles Dance, who I remember from Game of Thrones. He's doing quite the Southern accent here. It's something. It's something. And a very young Benicio del Toro, little baby Benicio.
Baby Benecio.
He's so cute. He's so cute.
He didn't have the darkness under his eyes nearly as bad.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody got to him.
It's weird to see him in a role like this. After Usual Suspects, I don't think he ever went back to playing like a normal seeming person.
No normies.
Yeah, that's not his thing. That's not what you hire Benicio del Toro for.
Give me the keys, you cocksucker. What the fuck?
What the fuck? We haven't done Usual Suspects yet, have we?
I would love to do Usual Suspects.
Oh my God, we should absolutely do that one soon. I saw that movie so many. Okay, but we're not talking about that one right now. We're going to be spoiling, by the way, this 30-year-old movie. So if you don't want China Moon spoiled for you, maybe pause this and go watch it. It's streaming on like Freevee or whatever with ads. Tubi. Like you could watch it with ads. You could just watch it for free because this movie's one of those like, The Postman Always Rings Twice, Body Heat kind of movies, and you don't want to know the double crossing. So if you don't want that known, pause and come back. So we already know neither of us saw this in the theater, so we'll just skip that. Let me ask you this first. What do you think about Ed Harris in general? Like, are you an Ed Harris person?
Have I dreamed about having sex with him a whole bunch of times? Yes.
That's not the question I asked, but okay, damn. I also really like Ed Harris as an actor. I don't have the hots for Ed Harris, but I get why other people have the hots for Ed Harris. And he is someone who always brings it. Like, he's going to bring it in every movie. Yeah. So I appreciate that. He does. Yeah.
So he has a look on his face sometimes like, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here either, but...
Valid. Yeah, and he has that look a lot in this movie. So in this movie, it's so this movie, again, it came out in 94, but it was filmed in 91. So we're in, I think, Florida, right?
It's definitely Florida.
Okay. All right, good. I mean, I didn't see any crocodiles. That's how I normally can tell. that it's, or alligators, whatever. So it opens with like, there's like a private investigator, maybe, we don't see who it is, that's taking photos of like a man who's clearly having an affair in a hotel. And then that just goes away pretty quickly. And then we go to Ed Harris and little baby Benecio are a couple of homicide detectives. They're working a murder scene. I guess he's like training Benicio del Toro. He's like still kind of newish to the department.
All the tropes are there.
Yes.
It's the cop, like he's a bachelor, has a messy backstory, and then he has the young cadet kind of kid who he's teaching the ropes.
Yes, and he, like, Ed Harris's character is, he's really quick to figure out, like, the husband did this murder. And, you know, he's breaking it all down. Like, here's why this person does this. And he says, like, eventually they all fuck up. Like, that's the whole thing. So they're working the scene, and then they decide to go to a bar afterwards. And while they're having their drinks, and Benicio del Toro's drinking beer on ice, which I guess maybe is a thing. I don't know. I don't know who these people are that drink ice with their beer, but okay, fine. And he sees Madeline Stowe, like, sitting at the bar, and she totally stands out in this bar, because first, she's Madeline fucking Stowe. She's gorgeous.
How do you get more beautiful than her?
You don't.
I don't understand. Yeah, that's just top drawer. That's top level.
Yeah, the bar is like, I don't know, it's kind of a divey bar, and like everyone's like super cash, and here's Madeline fucking Stowe, just like the spotlights on her, long, luscious hair, beautiful white dress, just looking like a movie star. At the bar. Like, why would she ever be in this bar? But of course, immediately, like, Ed Harris is like, oh, hello. And, you know, tries to, like, make his move. Because, again, she's Madeline fucking Stowe. And she kind of flirts with him. And then she's like, I'm going to go on my way. And she leaves. And then because Ed Harris's cop has poor boundaries, he immediately goes to the bartender and gets all of her details. Because who needs privacy? It's fucking overrated. Like, super inappropriate. Way to abuse your authority, Ed Harris, which he does a lot in this movie. We actually follow Madeline Stowe home, and we see that, like, she's like looking at the private investigator photos. It looks like that was her husband that was cheating, and her husband's a real dick, and that's Charles Dance, who was also in Game of Thrones. And I think he played a real prick in Game of Thrones, if I remember correctly, too. He's very good at playing a prick.
He is, and he's chewing the scenery.
For sure.
This film. He's going for that southern accent.
Yeah, he's got a really chewy accent.
Yeah.
And we can see that he's super shitty to her. Like, the key words for the plot, according to IMDb, I'll just do a few of them. Female full frontal nudity. That's like number one. That does happen. Yeah. Okay.
Autopsy, coroner, driving, hotel lobby, envelope, hotel concierge, female nudity, female star appears nude, sex in a motel.
And that's our episode, everybody. Thank you for listening.
There's like 100 here, but I'm just like, oh, for God's sakes. I was rewatching, of course, Below Deck Med.
Yes.
Because doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Skin was on board one day, the guy that runs the Mr. Skin website.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like having dinner, and somebody's like, oh, what about Drew Barrymore? She's first nude when she's 18 in this movie, and this is
so gross. Can you imagine that's your fucking job? Like, so weird. But it's true. You do get to see Madeline fucking Stowe naked in here. And I mean, she's gorgeous. And
is she naked? I know the other lady is.
Later.
One.
So she eventually like agrees to, well, first of all, she does get naked. Spoilers, everybody. She gets naked. But so Ed Harris, like, again, he has poor boundaries. So he basically stalks her and finds her like out shopping somewhere and tells her that he's stalking her. Like, And she's like, you know, and for a cop, he's not very observant. He doesn't seem to notice she's wearing a wedding ring. But whatever, he keeps making his move. You got to shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah. And then we also see Rachel like buying a gun. No big deal. And we see her having a shitty dinner with her shitty husband, he's nicer to the cats than he is to her. He's a real prick. But eventually, like, he gets Madeline Stowe to go on a date with him, and they like go out on a rowboat, and she goes skinny dipping, and that's when you see her naked.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that part.
Yeah. And that's when we get the movie title, because there's a big full moon, and he's like, my grandma used to call that a China moon, because it looks like a big old China plate. And I was like, sure, that's a thing that happens. And then the China moon makes people do strange things, and then they go skinny dipping, and they fuck.
I gotta look for that at those keywords. And, see what
And then they fuck.
fuck.
Like,
We're children.
Well, it's so funny, because she's like, we are children. She like,
Sex in a motel.
yep, she...
Female star appears nude. Female rear nudity. Dumping a dead body in a lake. Murder of a nude woman.
Oh,
Jesus.
boy.
Voyeur.
Yep.
Female topless nudity. Ankle holster.
I'm gonna
How the hell is that a kink?
Oh my God, is that a kink?
It's a key word.
It's
like
ooh.
Persian cat. This movie is everything.
Oh my God, people with a Persian cat kink. Oh my God, they've got Persian cats.
Driving in the rain. Oh my God, these are like mismatched socks. The key word in this movie.
That's also a kink, apparently. Who knew? Oh my God, people are weird. People are weird. Are you telling me that this movie has mismatched socks and a Persian cat?
And rear nudity? Well, I gotta watch this now.
Oh, damn. So hot.
I never saw this before. Keywords. Jesus.
I will only be looking at the keywords from now on. For every movie that we do, please, let's make this a segment every episode of Dorking Out. There it is. She does like take off her dress and go skinny dipping, and then Ed Harris's character like can't get naked fast enough to like get in that water with her, because duh, like
It's Madeline Stowe. I get it.
Madeline fucking Stowe, so beautiful. Yeah, so they fuck, and then we go back to the like police station, I guess, and like, you know, we get some stuff with Ed Harris and Benicio del Toro, and every time Benicio del Toro shows up, he's bitching, by the way. He's like, I'm so underpaid, I don't make any money at this job. You know, he's really telegraphing what's going on here. Like, also, you don't hire Benicio del Toro unless something else is going on here. So he's just a walking red flag, you know it. Finally, like, Ed Harris knows she's married, and he tries to get her to like divorce her husband, but that would be too easy. She doesn't want to do that. So there's like a whole thing where like her husband goes on a trip, but he's like with his mistress. You know, why doesn't he just leave his wife? I don't know. You know, why doesn't she just leave him? Because she wants the money.
She has money, so she's trying to figure out like if they split up, how much she'll get.
Right.
And so she's saying like, no, if I divorce him, I get nothing, because maybe she signed a prenup or something. And he's just like, so what? Like, just leave. And she's like, you don't get it. I like money.
She doesn't put it like that, but pretty much it's like, no, like I
can't be poor. What are you, crazy?
I like Persian cats, and I like my socks to match. Like,
exactly.
I can't live in this trailer with you. Yeah, I like skinny dipping and fine cats and match socks. I can't do this with you. Like, again, because, you know, what's the fun in that? What's the fun in just leaving people, you know? You gotta...
No, there has to be something. So there's a whole thing where she tells him, so he beats her, or the
husband does. Yeah.
The husband, Rachel.
Yeah.
So the cops are called. I guess they're the only cops in the city.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was like, they're homicide detectives, but they're going out on like domestic calls. You know, I don't know.
And which shift do they work? I mean, it's like all hours. Like,
Yeah.
there's nobody else at the police station.
Nah.
But they show up, and he's saying to her, like, leave this guy. This is going to get dangerous.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because I bought a gun, and I'm thinking I'm going to leave town. I'll leave, and then I'll shoot him. I'll come back and shoot him, and then officially come back and be like, what happened? And that's how I'm going to get away with it. And he's kind of like, you're an idiot. I'm a cop.
He's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
What if you don't do that? What if you just don't? And she's like, and then she leaves. She goes to the hotel, and then she does it. She drives back anyway, and like goes to Ed Harris, and I don't know. There's just the whole thing where, again, like, she does exactly what she's telling him she's gonna do. Like, she goes to Miami or whatever. She drives back. She sees him. She's like, I am gonna run away with you. And she goes home and starts packing her suitcase. Shitty husband comes home. He attacks her, and she shoots him, which really would have been justified.
Well, yeah, and also, yeah, all you have to do is say, yeah, you know how the cops were here the other day and they saw me a mess? Like, this is what happened.
Right. But then she's like, it's an unregistered gun, and I never officially checked out of my hotel. They're going to say I wanted to murder him, like all this stuff. And I was like, I don't know. It feels like you could still make a strong case and get away with it. But because he's so into Madeline fucking Stowe and she's got a magic pussy, he decides that he's going to agree to help her, like, cover it up. And so, because these are the things we do for love. The things we do for love. Like walking in the rain and the snow. And burying a dead body.
Rolling it into the lake.
The things we do for love.
And covering up the bullet hole. It's okay.
Yes.
Nobody will even miss him.
Yeah. He's only
No
the
one's
president of the bank, like the only bank in town. No one will notice. So they like drag him to like the spot where they first hooked up, and I was like, that's romantic. And they dump the body in the lake, and then she like goes back to the hotel and then officially checks out, comes home, reports him missing, and like Kyle and Dickie get the call that he's missing. Because again, well, Kyle and Dickie, by the way, are Ed Harris and little baby Benecio. They get the call because they're the only cops in town. Again, like now they've got a missing person.
Right.
And they're like, let's give it to those guys. There's no other cops. Like,
nobody else gets called.
Yes, just them. And immediately, like, Dickie's like, well, she's guilty. And Kyle's like, duh, I'm not so sure if she is. But he knows she is. Yeah, and then he learns all these things about her. Like, she's filed for divorce twice. She's, had some mental illness, things like that. There's a whole thing about trying to, like, turn them against each other.
It's that usual. Like, they have... the whole thing is like it's all starting to come apart. Like, oh, she told me all these things, but now they're not true.
Right.
And then Benecio is acting squirrely too.
Yes.
And so he's like trying to figure this all out. And it's a whole thing about how he has a 38 millimeter pistol and she had a 9.
His ankle holster. Hot. So hot.
His ankle holster that she asked him about. She just bought a 9 millimeter, and that's like what she actually shot him with.
Right.
So I don't know how they got. Did he shoot him with his own gun?
No. So what so it turns out, y'all. Spoilers.
Yes, please.
She shoots him with her 9 millimeter gun, but then supposedly the bullets they're pulling out of the body are 38s, which would match Ed Harris's gun. That's not what happened at all. They're pulling 9 millimeters out of his body, and then Benecio is doing a switcheroo with the bullets. Because it turns out, dun dun dun, that Benicio del Toro has been in on it the whole time. He was the private investigator at the beginning, and he took the pictures, and Madeline Stowe like hired him, and they were going to do this whole thing, and they were going to frame Ed Harris for it. But then she actually has fallen in love with Ed Harris because he's Ed Harris. And she doesn't want to get out of it. And Benicio's like, but I need a little bit of money, so we still have to do it. And it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Like, about this. And it all comes down to that dive bar when there's a thing at the end where, like, the cops show up and they, like, shoot Ed Harris.
Well, yeah, because he's trying to get the car that's in Benicio del Toro's car, the gun from the car.
Because he, for some reason, didn't get rid of it.
Right. The weapon. So then he has his gun aimed at Benicio, and he's looking inside Benicio's car.
Yes.
And he has it's under the floor mat, so he has to turn his back. And Benicio notices that cops are showing up, aiming their weapons in their direction. So he yells, "He's got a gun!" And then they shoot Ed Harris.
Yes, and he's like
multiple times,
and
he's slowly dying.
Yeah, he's falling back, and here comes Madeline Stowe, like running, like no. Which, by the way, she does this so well. She does it in Last of the Mohicans. She does it in 12 Monkeys. Like she's very good at like running in slow motion, going no, with her gorgeous hair. And she's like cradling him, and like his last words are like, "I was never gonna leave you," and she's like, "No," all this, and I will tell you right now, y'all, my last words will never be something like that. My last words are going to be like, "When is the ambulance getting here?"
Mine will be fuck.
Yeah, or ouch. Ow, this really hurts. Get a doctor. It will never.
No, but anyway,
it'll never be that.
She's in his arms. She's like crying.
Yes.
He's bleeding, and then Benicio. What does Benicio say? Dickie says something.
Yeah.
And she takes Ed's gun and she shoots him with it.
Yes, and just to be clear, like at this point, I think this is to show that she actually really did love Ed Harris. Like she's not shooting Benicio del Toro thinking she's going to get away with anything at this point. Like she just wants him dead. Like for what he's done
because
to
he
Ed
got
Harris.
Yeah.
So, and that's the end, and all of that for what? A little bit of money. Like
don't you know there's more to that?
There's
more to life than that.
The wise.
Don't you know?
The wise words of Marge Gunderson hang over me all watching this movie. All of that for a little bit of money. Like and a scene. No, I will say this. It was an entertaining movie. Like I see why someone requested it because first of all, they probably watched it on USA Network a lot. That would be my guess. This feels like a USA movie. Like we love a 90s thriller. And this is a good, like Madeline Stowe, Ed Harris, Benicio del Toro. I can't believe I didn't see this sooner.
It's a good cast.
Yeah.
Well, also it was on the shelf at Orion for several years. Yeah. And it was released in March, which is not a good time. That's not usually a great dumping ground for movies.
No, it's like, it's pre-summer. Like they didn't have much faith in this one. And I mean, it's a fine little neo-noir, like.
It's kind of basic. It's like you could get this on a Lifetime movie.
For sure.
I mean, it's not earth-shattering.
Yeah, you don't get the full frontal nudity and the mismatched socks and ankle holster. But
this is making me laugh stupid fucking hard, this list. Trailer park, barbed wire fence.
Oh, barbed wire.
Framed for murder.
Well, damn, those keywords tell you everything.
Yeah, it's binocular microscope. What? Anyway, I gotta stop. Okay, so anyway, yeah, that's the movie. It's fine. It's not earth shattering. The performances are good. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, no. I mean, some of the behavior in the movie, it's like, why would you do that? Like it is, yeah. But I still liked it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, if I wanted to watch something with Madeline Stowe, I would definitely not pick this one, though. I would probably pick something like Revenge or Last of the Mohicans or something. I have a list of other Madeline Stowe movies.
Oh, please.
Okay, so in 1987, she did Stakeout.
Great movie. All right, I did think it was at the time.
Yeah, I'm wondering, would this one age well? I don't know. We
John Badham.
put it on the list. Let's put it on the list. I remember really liking it at the time, but now I'm like, I don't know. 1990, she did Revenge.
Good movie.
I think Revenge is really, really good. That's the one with Kevin Costner, if y'all are wondering. She did The Two Jakes the same year, which I don't know if I've seen The Two Jakes.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's the sequel to Chinatown.
Which I don't really enjoy. It's a good movie, but it's not like it's a fun movie.
Chinatown? No, it's not a laugh riot, that one.
No.
No.
There are no cats in there.
No cats, no ankle hold, maybe an ankle holster, no mismatched socks. Like, very disappointing in those regards. 92, she does Unlawful Entry. That's
Ray Liotta.
Yes, that's a fun one. That's a
really good one.
If you want to, who doesn't love watching Ray Liotta go batshit insane? Like, it's a good one.
R.I.P.
I know. And then also in 92, she does Last of the Mohicans, a movie that I absolutely love and have no justification for how much I love Last of the Mohicans other than I fucking love it. I just love it.
I've seen it like once or twice. I always thought it was just fine, but I know people get obsessed with it.
Yeah, it played at my movie theater, so I watched it a lot. And then it played for a really long time. And people were, let me just say, ladies in particular, were very into Daniel Day-Lewis in that movie.
Well, who wouldn't be?
Yeah, the hair and the chest. And well, anyway, 93.
I'll never leave you.
I will find you. In 93, she does Shortcuts. Pretty good.
I hate that movie.
Oh, interesting.
Not a fan. I'm not a big Altman person anyway.
Oh, see, I like parts of it. But there were definite parts where I was like, I'd rather see the other story than this story. But I haven't rewatched it in a long time. 94, she does Blink, where I think she's playing someone blind, and it's
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember who the other person is in that movie, but I remember liking it at the time. Also in 94, she does Bad Girls.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah, it's a lady Western.
It's a ladies' Young Guns.
Yeah, Young Gunettes. And then 95, 12 Monkeys. That's a good one.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but yeah, it's a good movie.
And then 98, she does Playing by Heart, which is the one with like Gillian Anderson and a young Angelina Jolie. Remember, it's with all the different stories, and it turns out they're all sisters or something.
No, not ringing a bell. Sorry.
Okay. And then 99, she does, and I'm sure this is on our list somewhere, The General's Daughter.
Oh, God, that movie's fucked up.
With John Travolta.
Yeah, that movie's a mess.
Yep.
Do you want to hear about the top 10 songs that this came out?
Can't wait.
All right. So we have number 10, Mariah Carey, Hero.
Yeah. You couldn't get away from that song.
I don't know this one. Us 3, Cantaloupe.
Oh, I know that song. I know it,
What's
of course.
What's that song?
It's like a jazz hip hop kind of. I think if you heard it, you would recognize it. There aren't a lot of words. It's just a lot of da 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 da. Like there's a saxophone going. Like,
oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, number 8, Richard Marx, Now and Forever.
Yeah. Oh, such a slow dance song.
Number 7, All for One, So Much in Love.
All for One they're the same one that did like I Want to Sex You Up and.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Number 6, Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting, All for Love.
Yeah. They're all for one and all for love.
Toni Braxton, Breathe Again.
I love Toni Braxton.
Same. Number 4, Mariah Carey, Without You.
Again?
Never Forget You. Yes.
Damn.
Mariah, there are a lot of belters in here. Number 4, let's see. Oh, number 3, Oh, this song is so dope. It's Salt and Peppa featuring En Vogue, What a Man.
Yeah, love that song. For personal reasons, I can't really listen to it anymore, but
unfortunately.
It is still a really dope song.
Number 2, The Sign, Ace of Base.
Yeah, that one. And the All She Wants. You couldn't.
Yep.
Yeah, Ace of Base was everywhere.
And number 1, Celine Dion, The Power of Love.
Yeah, there were a lot of belters back then, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. These are all belters.
Yep. That's a good list.
Thanks.
What else are we dorking out about, my friend?
We covered Beverly Hills Cop last week.
Yeah.
The 84 one. I've never seen the third one, or I don't remember it. The fourth one was just released.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it on our bonus up for Patreon for What a Creep. But real quick, I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little rough. And I thought the script was a little lacking.
Yeah. I was like, when I was done watching, I was like, that was fine. It's fine.
It was a thing to watch.
Yeah. Like, I did text you and Adam, though, to point out that they were using stills from the movie in the, they're like, have you seen your police file? And they have a physical file, like you do. And they're flipping through it. And like in the file, there's like photos from the movie, like of them at like shootouts and shit. And I was like, yeah, because they would totally have a professional photographer on the crime scene taking photos of them during action scenes, maybe for recruitment. I don't know. There's all of that. And then there's just like, I don't like to think of Axel as being a deadbeat dad, basically.
Yeah.
Like, that bummed me out. I was like, I don't really like that. I mean, I know all the fan service and like they're playing the old songs and all. And I was like, yeah, of course, that's fine or whatever. But I don't know, it didn't do it for me. And it was just something to watch.
It was just a thing to watch.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't do an episode on it because it would have been. It doesn't deliver as much as China Moon does with its keywords.
Yeah, I appreciate that Eddie Murphy wasn't just phoning it in. Like he's really he's doing it. He's doing a thing, and I was happy to see like a bunch of the old people and how they always have to shoehorn in Sarge. Bronson Pinchot. I appreciate that. Like it's fine. It's fine. If you have Netflix, you're already paying for it. It's fine.
It's fine. Once again, fold your laundry, do some dusting. Yeah. That's it. You can have it on in the background. It's fine. On Hulu, I don't know if you saw this yet, but Mastermind with Dr. Ann Burgess.
Shit. I need to write this down.
It's so good. Okay. So it's this woman who was on the FBI's behavior unit. And she's a doctor, and she's basically, the movie, the Netflix show, not Manhunt.
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter. Thank you. Yeah. It's basically that origin story. Like, she is a part of that origin story.
Okay. I'm going to watch the shit out of this.
It's 3 episodes, and the woman is a doctor. She's a psychologist, and she's all about data and getting data. And she is amazing. It's about her career. It's got that horror in there, but also there's this point where she switched to being a defense lawyer. Like, her real thing is she wants to help victims of sexual assault and sexual abuse. And she's like an originator on treating victims of violence with care, with respect, which, you think you would automatically do, but no, it's something that's basically been learned in the last few decades, and she's a part of that. She's a big part of that. So I totally recommend. That's on Hulu.
All right.
And I really am enjoying Presumed Innocent
on
yes. Apple.
Every week I'm like, that's the killer. No, that's the killer. That's the killer.
Who do you think it is?
I have no idea. I really don't.
I think it's Raven's wife. I'm just saying it's her for whatever reason.
Raven's wife.
Raymond's the lawyer that
gotcha. Okay.
For no reason, just because I think like she's like a out of left field kind of. That's my guess. And I've just been going back on Peacock, getting ready for the Olympics. I've been watching some documentaries. I've also been just watching a ton of Below Deck Med and Below Deck Original Recipe, and that's been really fun.
Yeah. You know what? Now that I think about it, I'm starting to think maybe Jake Gyllenhaal did it.
He has a lot of anger issues. Like, they show him like losing his shit every other minute, and it's just like, like everyone's like walking on eggshells around him for good reason.
Yeah. That's where I'm leaning right now. Did you start watching Sprint on Netflix?
No, but I will.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've been watching, where it's a documentary series about the people who are competing in the 100-meter dash. It's basically the fastest people on the planet. It's really, really interesting. Like, I don't know, just how they're all very competitive people. They're all just such stars. I'm fascinated by their training regimens. It's really well done. I've watched like 2 episodes so far. I'll be watching more, so that's really good. I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you. Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay, I just like jumped in. Look, anyone who follows me on social media knows that I am currently obsessed with Love Island USA. Obsessed. It's not healthy anymore because the show's on like 6 nights a week, and I'm watching it. I have very strong feelings about some of the things that are going down in Love Island. They've recently introduced a new bombshell who is basically the CVS brand version of Chris Hemsworth. He's like Aussie, blonde hair, blue eyes, but I don't know, he doesn't have the charm of Chris Hemsworth for me, but all the ladies on there are drooling over him. I think the show is fascinating. We talked about this a little bit in our bonus ep on For What a Creep as well, but like I am fascinated about the dynamic between how producers treat the women on the show versus how they treat the men, the edits that they get. The reaction on social media is very different, I think, than the producers maybe want, because similar to Bravo, I feel like men tend to get a more sympathetic edit compared to women very often, and that shit is not flying with female. The viewers of these shows are predominantly female, and they don't like it when women are portrayed as bitches and victims when they're not being that way, or that they're being crazy when really they're being gaslit. Like, so I'm fascinated to watch like how it's playing out on social media versus what I'm seeing on the actual show. And also it's just garbage and I love it. And the whole world is on fire and bananas. And if I can find a little bit of joy in a reality show about making people sleep together in a villa,
then so be it.
Then so be it. It's the same reason I watch things like Below Deck Med now, because I can't deal with anything really serious.
No, and because of the heat wave and everything here, like where I live, it's just like you need something to binge. And I don't know if I could take a regular season of some of these seasons because not that much happens.
Yeah.
But just enough that I feel invested, and then I feel good about myself because I won't allow myself to be treated the way some people are treated on these shows. But the level of, it's wild, like 10 years ago, what men expected of women. Like, it's very recent, I find. Like, this phenomenon of women are just like, don't call me crazy. Don't treat me like, whatever. Like, you need to treat me with more respect. Yeah. And it's wild to see, like, how much, especially white boys, expect.
Yes. And
attention and respect that's like out of nowhere. Like, right.
And that is something that is playing out on Love Island as well. Like, there are several like people of color on this show, and in a lot of these dating shows, they're mainly white. It's like you watch The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. Like they're trying to be a little bit more diverse, but for years it wasn't. It was just white people. And on this season of Love Island, they have several people of color, and in particular, there's this black couple, Serena and Cordell. And Cordell went to the Casa Amor, and he hooked up with another woman, and he brought her back. And Serena was like, "Fuck you! You disrespected me." And she was very clear in her emotions to him. And there's a whole thing where she flips him off, and she licks the middle finger and touches her ass. It's pretty hilarious. And she gives him the business. She's like, "You have disrespected me. I'm not putting up with this, blah, blah, blah." And I think the show wanted to give her like an angry black woman edit. And the audience was like, we reject that. Like, he wasn't fair to her. And it was interesting then to see him. He apologized to her. He tried to make it up with his actions. And they are back together. And I was like, and I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win the whole thing. Because I was like, what we watch, these are two young people too. They're like 22, years old. And you're watching like two, and like now that they are back together, like they are in it. And I was like, they actually really care about each other. Like,
okay,
I'm kind of, and there's this very sweet scene where they show like she's doing his hair, like, and it's something that I don't think we see of people of color on these kinds of shows. Like this very like sweet moment where like he's got like kind of an afro going and she's like combing through it and like putting it in braids and making it curly and stuff. And it was like, I don't know, it was very sweet and wholesome in a way that we don't see on a lot of these shows, or at least I haven't seen on a lot of these shows. Anyway, I think they might win the whole thing. And I was kind of fascinated to watch the edit again and how it is received on social media. So Love Island USA, my current obsession. I also saw MAXXXINE.
So tell me.
Everyone knows I loved X and Pearl, particularly Pearl. I was very, very into it. And I really wanted to love MAXXXINE the way I love those. Like if you haven't seen X, is like kind of an homage to like 70s slasher, kind of your Texas Chainsaw Massacre type movie. And then Pearl is like a horror movie, but it's set in the 40s, and it's very influenced by like The Wizard of Oz and MGM musicals, and it's very Technicolor, but it's also a horror movie. It's very interesting. And MAXXXINE is set in 85, so it's going to have this very like 1980s horror slasher vibe, like the movie Angel, where like she's like a student by day and a sex worker at night and all those things. And so I really, really wanted to love it because that's my jam. But the truth, like MAXXXINE is like, it needed to be like an homage to those things, but it also needed to be like a little bit more or a little bit better, I guess. And it just wasn't, to me, it didn't feel like it was a little bit better than what I would have seen in the 80s. And so but also I feel like I might watch it again when it's streaming and maybe I'll have a different reaction, but my expectations were really high. And I had a movie in my head that I thought it was going to be, because they're bringing in the Night Stalker, and I thought there was going to be more crossover with MAXXXINE and the original and the true story about the Night Stalker, and I didn't get that. And when I didn't get that, I was disappointed. I have a movie in my head that's way better. But she's really good in it. Like, Mia Goth is really, really great in it. Like, it's got a really great cast. It's got Bobby Carnivale.
Carnival.
Yeah, like he's really great. Giancarlo Esposito is in it.
Giancarlo.
Yeah. It's got a really good cast. Like when it's streaming, like I recommend it for streaming. Let me say that. I don't think people need to run out and see it in the theater. Although I feel like we should support movies in the theater. You have made fun of me for this before, where I take such responsibility. Where I was like,
we have to all go.
I am like, I want to support certain kinds of movies. So it's like, even when I'm like, I could just wait, but I'm like, no, I should support it in the theater. Like, it's my personal responsibility to like go see Horizon in the theater because I want to support Westerns. It's like, girl, just wait till it's streaming. No, I have to see it in the theater. Like, I take it like it's voting or something. I'm like, it's voting. I have to do my duty. I have to go see it in the theater. And if you're wondering, I'm totally voting on Love Island. Because why would you watch and you're not voting? Like, of course you're voting.
What do they win on Love Island?
They win like $100,000 and a vacation or something like that. But
each?
No, I think the couple might win it. So it's not like a ton of money. There's also another couple on there that, like, first of all, this is Love Island USA, and there's a surprising amount of Brits and Aussies on the show. But there's a man on there who's like really gaslighting this girl, and she is just like crying and sobbing and then taking him back over and over. And it reminds me so much of that friend we all have that like is with a really shitty man and they break up every 5 minutes and you're like, oh, here we go again.
I can't listen to this again. Right.
Yes.
Right. They do a whole litany of what's wrong with the
Yes.
person, what they do that's mean and wrong. And it's like, good.
And then
now
she
you leave.
Yeah. And immediately she takes him back every time because he gaslights her and he's just like, fine, I fucking love you. Fine. Does that make you happy? Or he like puts a shell on a fucking string and he's like, here, I made you a necklace, like a fucking child. And she's like, oh, he made me a necklace. I'm like, what is he in kindergarten? Like, whatever. Back to Love Island USA. Anyway, that's plenty. That's a good list. My friend, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at brooklynfitchick.com. I'm at brooklynfitchick for Instagram and Threads. And then I'm at Brooklyn Margot for TikTok and Twitter.
And you should all be following her. She always shares clips of everything we're doing for Dorking Out and What a Creep. It's always good stuff.
Thank you.
And I just mentioned What a Creep. That's our other podcast where we talk about creeps of the past and the present. You should listen. It's super fun. Our episode out right now is about Anthony Kiedis. Fuck that guy.
From Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's gross.
He's so gross. That's a good one. So go listen to that. If you like Dorking Out, please leave us a review. It helps us find our people. We also take requests. You can send it to us on all the social media channels. Dorking Out Show on Twitter, Threads, Facebook, Instagram. I'm trying to be better about checking the Instagram. And also, yeah, you can email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com. And if you want some stickers, like Margot would be more than happy to send you some stickers when the weather is better and she doesn't have to walk in like 150-degree heat to go to the mailbox. But it will happen.
It will happen. I mean, we keep getting like these alerts, and it's like there's a heat advisory from right now until Tuesday at 8:00.
Damn.
And it's Saturday. Yes.
Damn.
So, yeah, you just can't be out for very long. It's just like, ugh.
It's icky, y'all.
More below deck.
Yeah. Everyone try to stay cool out there and try to stay safe. And what do you think the keywords will be for this episode?
Shit, hold on. I can find them again. Hold on.
Because I think it's going to be ankle holster, mismatch.
Let's go on to first.
Yeah, socks.
We got a few more.